Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we are going to be talking about some of the free agent options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers following the injury news, not just to Chris Godwin, but also to Mike Evans as well. The Bucs are pretty thin at wide receiver. Yes, you do have Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, and Sterling Shepard, and those guys have all been very, very good, right? But they obviously need some reinforcements. So, who should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers consider as an option? Well, the first guy I want to bring up is a guy that he's on the title of the video. It's Michael Thomas, former New Orleans Saints wide receiver, former product of Ohio State, a three-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro, the 2019 Offensive Player of the Year. And look, I know that people, probably understandably so, think Michael Thomas is a little washed. He is 31 years old. He's going to be 32 years old by the end. Well, not by the end. After this upcoming season, he will be 32 years old. He's 6'3", 212 pounds. Very similar build to Chris Godwin. Okay? And when you looked at the first 4 years of Michael Thomas, it was pretty good. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, including 1,700 yards in 2019 and 9 receiving touchdowns. I think he also has the record for most receptions in a season with 149. I think that's an NFL record still. But after that, I know the Bucs have struggled with wide receiver injuries already. I don't know if Michael Thomas would help in that department. Started in only 5 games due to injuries. Didn't play at all in 2021 due to injuries. Started in only 3 games in 2022 due to injuries. Started only 7 games in 2023 due to injuries. So while you can make the argument that the Buccaneers need bodies in the room, they also need healthy bodies. And I don't necessarily know if Michael Thomas is going to be that guy. Unfortunately, by the way, his uncle is Keyshawn Johnson, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl champion. So maybe there's a connection there. But I don't necessarily think the Bucs are going to look at Michael Thomas. I think, again, they need guys who are a bit healthier. You know how good Michael Thomas was in the early portions of his career. But not only has he had injuries for literally 4 straight years of his career, he is also 31 plus years old. It's just not necessarily the best fit in the world, in my opinion. So who else is still out there? Well, you do have Hunter Renfro as another potential option. He is a former Las Vegas Raider. He's 5'10", 185 pounds, and he had some good moments early on in his career. He made a Pro Bowl in 2021, had over 1,000 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns that year. After that, the Raiders just didn't play him a lot. He played in only 10 games, started 1, I believe it was due to injury. He had 330 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. In 2023, he played in all 17 games, but only started 3. He had 255 receiving yards during that season. So they just didn't necessarily give him a lot of opportunities in 2023. He is 28 years old. He will be 29 years old by the end of the season. He's a guy that I personally believe gives you similar stuff to what you're getting from Sterling Shepard, where he's a veteran guy that can make a couple of plays for you here or there, maybe help out a little bit in the slot as well, but I feel like Sterling Shepard gives you pretty much the same thing. So I don't necessarily believe that it would make a ton of sense for the Bucs to bring in Hunter Renfro. I also feel the same way about a former Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver in Russell Gage, who, look, in 2023 didn't play at all because he was hurt. He was with the Bucs last year, but he didn't play at all because of injury. He had 426 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns in 2022, 770 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns for the Falcons in 2021. Would be an interesting option. He is 6 feet tall, 184, but again, he's a Sterling Shepard type of guy. He is going to be 29 years old, pretty much right at the end of the season. Maybe you could bring him in on the practice squad, but you've already got 3 guys on your practice squad, so just doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense for me as well. Again, in terms of like outside perimeter options in free agency just doesn't make a ton of sense for me right now. Marquez Valdez-Scantling isn't an option. He actually just signed with the New Orleans Saints, so he is not going to be an option anymore. I don't believe Tim Patrick is an option. He may be on the Lions practice squad. No, he was promoted to the active roster on September 24th. So he's not really an option anymore as well. Folks, the free agency pool is pretty thin. I mean, like, Chase Claypool's out there. You're not bringing in Chase Claypool. Michael Thomas is an option. Hunter Renfro, again, Russell Gage. Those are really, like, your top three guys in terms of free agent options. Like, Richie James is out there, but he's been a pretty injury-prone wide receiver in the past. Denzel Mims, if you wanted a younger guy, but he hasn't really done anything in the past. Philip Dorsett? I don't know, man. Like, there's not a ton of free agent options out there. There really isn't. Again, the guys that I just named are pretty much the top guys in Michael Thomas and in Hunter Renfro and in, like, Russell Gage. That's it. I mean, Marquise Goodwin's out there. Jakeem Grant, Chris Moore from the Arizona Cardinals, maybe, but like, those are all guys that you would have like on your practice squad. The only guys that you would really consider having on your active roster are Thomas, Renfro, and Gage. That's how I feel about the situation. And none of those guys just really make sense right now for the Bucs. So maybe they trade for somebody? We'll talk about that in a few guys in some separate videos. So we'll see. But folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions about some of the free agent options that I listed here. Do any of them seem interesting to you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'd like to hear about it down in the comments section below. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.